Welcome to day number 30 in your 31-day Building Strength for Life program. This is a 31-day program to enhance health, build strength, and supercharge your confidence. And if you've been here with me for the previous 29 days, you'll already know that that is already happening for you. Hopefully you are feeling better than ever, stronger, and more confident in yourself and your movements. Today, we're working on our final strength session in this plan. So I have got 3 sets of weights with me today. Do not worry if you don't have 3 sets. If you just have the 1 set, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to just be talking you through some different weight choices that you might want to use for the different exercises as we go along. And I thought it's the last session of strength, why not do that now? If you want a quick 5-minute low impact warm up, click the little link at the top of the screen that I've left in there for you. We're going to be working on a series of exercises in 3 distinct categories. We're going to be working the upper body first, then into the lower body, and then into the core and work some stability as well. So I've got my little mat ready. My weights are primed. Are you ready as well? Let's do this. The first exercise we're going to be working on today is a hammer curl. So we're going to be working into the arms and into the shoulders. I've got my medium weights here and I'm just holding them right by my sides. I'm going to curl up to the shoulder, come back down, and then the other side and back down. I'm going to make sure that I'm really engaging the core to make sure that the muscles that are working here are the muscles in my arms and also those core muscles. Okay, I'm not clenching through the neck, not holding any tension into those shoulders, just working nice and slow, really respecting the movement, really respecting that that weight is heavy, not flinging them around. Good, heels are pushed into the floor, nice and slow on that eccentric movement. We've talked about this throughout this plan, about taking your time, take a rest, well done, through that movement. I'm going to drop down one of those weights and I'm going to keep the other one. We're going to be doing an overhead tricep press, okay, tricep extension. So you can use a lighter weight for this one if you want. We're going to be working those small muscles at the back of the arm. So you're going to bring the weight overhead, drop it down, push it up and ever so slightly forwards, down, up. Good. Now, if you have a lot of hair, a big old ponytail there, I say this pretty much every time, then you might just want to whip that out or just pop it on top of your head because it will get in the way as you're working through these. Engage the core, drop that weight behind, bring it up, keep the elbows together so they're not winging out to the side. Good. And take a rest. Good job. Okay, bent over row is next and you can go heavier here if you want to, or you can stay on the weights that you have been using. For the first time round, I would advise if you're not sure, then just to stay on the ones you're using, and if you have heavier, then you can do that. Feet are pushed into the mat. I've got my chest over the mat. We're going to row up and back down. Up, back down. Now I want that downwards row to be as slow as the upwards row, if not slower. Up, down. Now we don't want the heads up here, all the way down here. You keep your head as neutral as you possibly can, and if you're not sure, have a little look in a mirror in a window. Try and keep the ears in line with shoulders. That's a really good way to be able to try and figure out what it is you're doing. Good job. 2, 1, take a rest. We will be coming back to those exercises and we're just going to do some press-ups now, okay? You've got your variations. You know what you can do to modify your press-ups. So get yourself into press position. Let's get that chest down and push up. Now, in one of our sessions, I think it was back in week 3, I showed you how to do a press-up where you just work on one phase of the press. So you just get yourself down and then you work on the push up phase. Okay, so if you want to do that here, then you absolutely can. Okay, so just working on that upwards phase of the press if the up and the down is a little bit too much. But it is on the understanding that you then build. You're building on that. I have said that I will do a whole video on press up progressions and how to progress your press ups, take a rest. So I will do that for you. But right now, that's not what we're focusing on. We're going to go back onto those hammer curls. So over, up, back, down, alternate sides. Let's go. Up, back down, up, back down. If you want to add in a overhead press, then you can. Okay, you don't have to. If you're happy here, then you can stay here. If your weights are a little light and you just want a little extra challenge, then the shoulder press element is a good way to just wear those muscles out even more. Good work. Strong and stable into the core. You got this. You know this now. This is all stuff you know. Take a rest. Well done. Good. I know you all like the upper body work. I know that's something, I've learned that's something that you guys like, which is great. I'm really happy to give it to you. I love overhead work. I love upper body work as well. Let's go for the triceps. Lots of you struggling with more of the core work. But you know, it's not easy to do. We've got some core work in here today. You know, just because I need you to be well-rounded. You do learn to love the core work. It's hard. There's a lot of different muscles at play. And it's not as easy to see the results as it is in the arms and shoulders, if I'm honest. Working through. Good. If you can get that little push at the top, it just, adds a little bit extra, just makes that a little bit more intense. Good. 2, 1, take a rest. Good. Bent over row is up next. If you want to add in a heavier weight here, then you can, as long as you can maintain throughout. You're going to be pushing those hips back, dropping down, hold the weights. Let's go. Row up, nice and slow down. Up, nice and slow down. Get those shoulder blades together. Slow. If you find that you're coming up with the weights, just be aware because your weights might be a little heavy. So if that is the case, you drop the weights down, you pick up the others and see if it's happening again. So are you coming up and then coming back down? It's a little imperceptible movement like that. If you are, drop those weights down, go to a lighter set, okay? So just work on the weights that are right for you. It's okay to have a trial and error approach when it comes to weights. Take a rest. It's absolutely okay to do that. We are back to our press ups. But I would try it with the lighter weights into the heavier rather than the other way around. Let's go for those press. Down and up, down and up. And of course you have got the full press if you prefer. You don't have to do modified press. But I know most of you will be aiming for this as your press up. Okay, so I don't want to do the entire thing on toes and you're like, oh no, it's not achievable, okay? I am here for you. These workouts are for you. They're not for me. They're not for anyone else. They're just for you. I'm not sure if I could last 45 seconds on my toes either, actually, if I'm being super honest. That might be a bit out of my reach these days. And take a rest. Okay, we're going to be working into the lower body now, a goblet squat. Lovely exercise. Take one weight. You're going to hold onto that weight by your chest. You're going to take out nice and wide squat stance with the toes out, down and up, down and up. Whatever depth you put into that squat is your depth. So if you're here, then that's great. And if you're all the way down here, brilliant, okay? So whatever your range is, but we are not just bashing through them. If you can go really quick on these, your weight is probably a little too light. Okay, so you need to be able to respect that movement, hold on to that weight. And if you are on a weight loss journey and you have already lost some weight, have a look at that weight that you're looking at. Take a rest. Is it comparable with the amount that you've lost? Because if it is, then that's time for a high five. Right, lunge is up next. You can do this as a split squat, which I'm going to show you, or as a lunge. We're going to be stepping backwards and dropping down, staying on the same side. Now, this is the reverse lunge. You can do it as a straighter legged lunge if you prefer, or you can do it as a split squat where you're here and you just go down and up, so you're not moving. So it's less balance and control if you're doing the split squat, a little more in the reverse lunge, and even if you're doing the straight leg variation, okay? Whatever's right for you though. Good. And take a rest. We're going to switch sides. Okay, we're nearly, well, we're about halfway, actually. Let's go. We're about halfway, coming up to halfway through this session today. And aren't the sessions different? So you got your cardio sessions, you feel absolutely buzzing afterwards. Well, I always do. These sessions are always more considered. Okay, they're always more about being precise and controlled. And I know some of you really enjoy that. Some of you less so. Some of you find that harder. But there's certainly a case for saying if you find it harder, it's because that's what you need to work on. So refer back to previous conversations about core work, okay? And take a rest. Just keep that in your mind, the fact that actually sometimes we need to do these types of workouts because we find them hard, because you know that's what we need to work on. Grab the heaviest weights you have. You're going to push the pelvis back. Keep those weights close to the shins as you drop down into your deadlift. Now, I'm doing this with a bent knee as I'm pushing those hips back. We have done this in lots of our other exercises in this plan together. So hopefully you have mastered the movement. If not, and you're really struggling to see the difference between the hip hinge here and the squat, then remember you can just push into the top of that pelvic bone and push the hips back. And that is the movement you're looking for with a little bent knee. And keeping the shoulders higher than the hips. Take a rest. Well done. Very good. Down to the mat. I'm going to take one of my 5 kilos with me. And we're going to do a glute bridge onto the mat. So just lying down, hold that weight onto the hips, and we're going to push up and come back down. Pushing up, squeeze, back down. Up and squeeze, down. Good. And we're at the end of this plan almost, just tomorrow to go. If you're here with me now, you will definitely be finishing this session. Surely, if you're here, there's no sense in not. And if you don't know what to do next, then I've got a 14-day plan called Fit Life 40. Similar but different to this one. Similar kind of vibe. 2, 1, take a rest. Well done. So you can jump onto that. That's the other fitness program that I have for free for everybody. Let's do our goblet squat next with our big weight. 3, 2, 1, drop down. But I also have on my website, I have plans that I've curated for members, so you can just follow those through, and I've curated those from lots of the standalone workouts that you can find on YouTube, but I've put them all together in a way that sort of makes sense. And you can access those by becoming a member if you want to do that. It's a very affordable option. And it also helps to support me doing this work. So if you would like to consider that as an option, you can head over to strengthandbloom.com and you can have a little look around and see what that's all about. You also get live sessions on there. And a whole archive of many, take a rest, many workouts that are not available anywhere else. You're welcome. Okay, we're going to do that lunge again. So reverse lunge, either step back, drop back, or split squat. Let's go. So this is your reverse lunge here. Of course, slightly modified. Or split squat down, up, in whatever depth you like here. Okay, that's another modification for you if you're finding the balance tricky, finding where the foot goes tricky. But I am willing to bet that if you've come through this program with me, you're already feeling more confident in your body, more able to know where you are in space and time. Take a rest, well done. We're going to switch. So well done if that is the case. And if you're thinking, oh, I don't think I feel like fully confident, it's okay not to feel fully confident. These things take time. It's only been 30 days. Let's go. But it's a start, isn't it? A start. And isn't it exciting to think that if you've managed to achieve this in 30 days, what you could do by this time next year, 365 days, making each day count, taking rest, recovery, but also working hard on your cardiovascular health, on your muscular health, on your bone health, on your mental health. None of these things are small things, okay? This journey that you've been on, that we've been on together, okay, has been brilliant. 2, 1, take a rest. And I really hope that you have learned something about yourself and that you feel good and you feel empowered and you feel confident. We're going to go for that deadlift again, so let's do it. Down and up. Now, are you rounding? Are you coming down like this in an effort to try and get down to the toes, to get to the feet? Because if you are, that's not what we're doing here. We're not trying to get to the feet. You're trying to keep your shoulders above your hips, and you can't really, well, you can, but it's very hard. Let's get all the way down there, like that. So, just working on that purity of movement. This is a very functional movement. Picking things up, putting things down, using those big powerful muscles in the back of your body. You've got your glutes, hamstrings, back muscles. Take a rest, well done. It's all there, you've got all of them there. They may not be conditioned, but they're there, they're waiting to be used. Whether they like it or not, they're waiting to be used. Pop that weight onto your hips if you're using one. Pushing up, squeeze, back down. As soon as you touch back down, you're up and squeezing again. Holding onto that weight. If that's just a little too much for you, that weight on the hips, don't worry. That's okay. Good. Work it through. Push and squeeze. Well done. So you can do this with or without a weight. It doesn't have to be a dumbbell, it can be a sandbag, it can be a kettlebell, whatever you've got. Just a bit of resistance to add into those glutes to make them work a little harder. 2, 1, take a rest. Well done, we are nearly there. We are into our core and stability section, and we're going to stay down here for a seated twist. Now, you can use a light weight for this one as we're going to twist across. I'm going to do this as a purely body weight exercise with my heels on the ground here, but you can absolutely add a weight in as we have done many times, and you know the options, right? You know the options that you can do here, that you can do your alternate foot raise, that you can do your feet off the mat, that you can do your pedal, but you know all that. If you've done the other workouts, you haven't forgotten, because you've done it, you've tried it. Good. Keep it going. And even if 3 weeks ago on a Tuesday. You could do it with your feet off, but today you can't. There may be a multitude of reasons, take a rest, why that's the case. We're going to do a bird dog next. If you cannot kneel onto the mat, I will show you an alternative. Okay, but if you can, make sure that the arm is nice and straight, wrist stacked all the way underneath the shoulder, knee under hip, and we're going to stretch out, come back in, nice and strong and stable, stretch out, coming back in. Good. Really engaging the core here, just taking it down a pace. Well done. Good. Stretch and hold. Stability is a bit different to balance, but they're in the same family, they're like related. So stability, like, can you hold all the muscles where they need to be? Can you hold your pelvis in place rather than can you just stand on one leg without falling over? Take a rest. We're going to do a seated twist again. We're going to do that bird dog or Superman again. And then we will do our little final exercise. Let's go. So twist, twist, twist if you can. Good. And touching down side to side on the mat. I know there are some people that find the touching down onto the mat difficult. That's fine. You can just keep your hands up here. That's great. Good job. Just over 20 seconds here before we go back to that bird dog exercise. Amazing work. Keep focused then. Good. Nearly there. And take a rest. Back over onto your front. Remember, the variation is there if you need it. Couple of breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Ground yourself. And let's go. Pushing out, in. Imagine you've got something really super precious to you, like a lovely hot cup of tea or coffee on your back. You're going to try not to spill a drop. Good job. Keep that neck nice and neutral. The tendency is for you to drop the head down, look at the knees. We don't need to be doing that. The knees are where they need to be. We already checked that one out. So just keep that head nice and neutral, ears in line with shoulders. Really going to be your cue. Keep that neck neutral. And take a rest. Final exercise, you're going to come onto your back. Everybody's favourite. I say that with a hint of sarcasm, but I know that you guys actually do like this one. It's just a bit tricky on the coordination. Fingertips up, knees bent. Let's go for this one. Draw out the opposite arm and leg. Draw them out. Now, have a quick check. Are you managing to draw them out whilst keeping the non-working fingertip and knee up? Or is that happening and the arm coming down? Okay, so really try. I've confused myself there. You can really try and keep those fingertips up to the sky. It does take a bit of work, but once you get it, you'll have it. And you just keep practicing, because practice makes progress. Okay, let's not worry about perfection. Let's worry about progress. 3, 2, 1. Take a rest. We're going to do one more of those before we are done for the day. And I suppose all that I've got left to say is thank you for all your lovely comments, all of your feedback, all of your good vibes, encouraging each other, helping each other. This is what community feels like. Okay, this is what it is to be part of a positive community where people are cheering each other on. We may never have met in person, and I know I've said that before, but it doesn't mean that we're not part of something. We've not created something together. There is no judgment here. It is all about effort. And I see you. So thank you so much for your comments. The good vibes I get, I usually reply to them of an evening, and the good vibes I get as I'm replying to them, take a rest, is off the charts really. I do it before I go to bed, and it's my nice little bit of self-care for the day as I'm replying to everybody's comments. So thank you so much. If you have commented once every day, whenever you've commented, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't commented because you think, oh, I don't really want to, or maybe that's not you as a person, that's okay. But thank you for joining anyway. And tomorrow is our last session. It's called Celebration and Renewal. There will be some, a little bit of light cardio. There'll be some flexibility stretches in there, and there will be a little bit of reflection as well. So join me tomorrow for day number 31. I literally cannot believe that I'm saying that. I can't believe we've made it. Day number 31 tomorrow. Well done for today. You are amazing. Big love. Take care. Bye.